welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host here on the air today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. As we talk about your life, because Dr. John's here, or you talk about your money, because I'm here, and I'll interrupt him anyway, because I own the show. That's how it works. That's how our little interaction works, right?
That's how most of my life works. At home, my wife owns that.
I was going to say, I'm always interrupting you. What is that?
You own this part, so it's good. Man.
Okay, well, everybody's got to have a gift.
That's right.
Open phones at 888-825-5225. Let's start with Cameron in Los Angeles. Hey, Cameron, welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
You too. How can we help?
Well, I'm new to your plan. I just found it maybe a month ago, and I'm in a serious amount of debt. Right now, I have a total of $745,000 worth of debt, and
wow.
I'm really anxious to get out of it. Made some mistakes, and I didn't even realize I was making them. But after hearing your show, I really think that I want to get my life, straightened out, and I want to aim for financial freedom.
Okay. What kind of debt do you have?
So I have it all broken down. Well, I have a home, and it's $525,000.
I feel better already.
Yeah, for real. I just exhaled.
I was afraid you had $745,000 student loan debt or something. I didn't know what to tell you. Okay.
No.
But yeah, $525,000 on the home. What's that home worth, by the way?
So right now it's about worth about $700.
Okay, cool. All right, and what's the other $220,000?
I have $150 in student loan.
Mm-hmm.
I have you're gonna get upset, but I have $20 in timeshare.
Mm-hmm.
And 30 personal loan, 10 in car, and 10 in credit card.
Okay. All right. And who's the personal loan to? A bank?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And are you a doctor or a lawyer?
Neither. Nurse practitioner.
Oh, no. That's good. Okay. All right. I thought with that student loan bill, there may be something involved here. So what are you making?
So right now I make $135,000.
Good news. And you're what, 28?
And then I expect 30.
30. Okay, close
and
enough.
I expect my salary's going to go up to about 150 to 180 in the next year.
Excellent. Okay, good. Well, you're not afraid of work. That's good news. All right. Are you married?
No.
Okay. Cool. So, what is it you want to accomplish here?
I just, I made a lot of mistakes, and I kind of just want, the best way to get on track. I'm the first in my family to ever graduate college and even have, some level of success with money. And, I want to make sure I change, my family's tree. So,
well, congratulations.
That's
awesome.
On a bad note.
That's
and I want to just fix it.
It's a wonderful start. Good for you.
It's awesome, man.
So,
well, the bad news is there's a mess. The good news is that the hole that you're in, compared to the shovel that you have, 130 to 180 income, is this is very doable. Okay, so it just depends on how quickly you want to do this and how deeply you want to sacrifice. Obviously, the more deeply you sacrifice, the quicker you'll get out. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because we'll use more of your income to clean up the mess, the more deeply you sacrifice, and or you sell that house and you've gotten rid of most of it. So, not suggesting you do that, but I'm just saying those are sacrifices. No life, no house, but the debt's all gone, and you start fresh. And you could do that pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would in your case. I think I would if I were in your shoes. I'd hold on to the house and let's plow through $220,000 worth of debt, making $150 to $200. Let's just play with some numbers. If you put $50,000 on it or $75,000 on it, it takes you 3 years, which is $2,000 a month. No, it's not. I wish it was $2,000 a month. It's not even close.
Yeah, it's way more than that.
$6,000 a month. Thank you. But anyway, yeah, if you do that, that's $75,000 a year. You'll be debt free in 3 years. Translation: you have absolutely no life. You're working so many overtime shifts, your eyes are crossing. You are living on beans and rice and beans. You are not going on vacation. And you're not going to see the inside of a restaurant unless you're working there as your extra job, which you shouldn't do as a nurse practitioner. You ought to be nursing as your second job.
Okay, I can do that.
I kind of think you can.
I know you can.
I think you're the guy. Because did you follow the math with me? 75 times 3 is 2.25.
Yeah.
But $75,000, $6,000 a month out of your income means you're working extra and you are living on nothing. And you're going to list these debts smallest to largest, and you're going to attack them with a vengeance.
And your community, who has seen you as the guy that got out, the first guy to go to college, the first guy to get the big fancy job, the guy that works in the hospital, is not going to understand why you're driving a crummy car and working on the weekends. They're not going to understand why you're not picking up the tab. And that's why they're broke. And this is the gut-wrenching moment when you change your family tree with the hard stuff now.
Honestly, Cameron, the people that have done this stuff that we've worked with for over 30 years, the ones that are the most successful, care the least about what other people think. Caring what other people think will kill you on this. So if broke people are making fun of your financial plan, you're always on track.
Okay, I really appreciate it.
So,
just really quick, you don't think I should get rid of the house?
Not unless you have to. If you can lean into it for 3 years, if you want to move anyway, okay, that's fine. But if you want to hold on to a piece of California real estate, which is not a bad idea, and you want to lean into this and bust it, then I think you can keep the house and still be done in 3 years or sooner. If I thought it was going to take you 10 years, I'd sell the house.
Okay.
But the math says it's not if Cameron says he can do it, and it's all up to Cameron now. But we'll help you. We have a thing called Ramsey Plus, and we're going to give you a 1-year subscription to that, and that puts you into the Financial Peace University class. It puts you into the Every Dollar premium version of the budgeting app. It puts you into the Baby Steps tracker. It connects you up with all the tools like the Debt Snowball tool. It connects you with everything you need to be able to move to the next level and to cause all this to happen, including community and coaches and everything else. And I'm going to give it to you because I just want to start this hour that way. And you are on. I think he's going. I think he's going to do it.
He's going to do it. I know he is, man.
Call me
That's
back.
so
Do your
cool.
debt-free scream, man.
I'm smiling, brother.
I love it. 3 years from now, I'll be sitting here waiting on you. Hold on. Kelly will pick up. We'll get you signed up. What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices. And they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings. So have you ever seen the movie Trapped in New York? It's not a real movie. But it's really happening, and we should be filming it right now. Anthony O'Neill's been up there 6 days in quarantine in order to get to do the Ryan and Kelly show.
I've been hassling him
he
every
is,
day, man.
He's stuck in a hotel room, so we wanted to call and harass him a little bit because he's got to be going stir crazy. Anthony, how are you? Are you making it?
Dave, John, man, I'm barely making it. I'm not going to lie. I'm ready to get home.
Are you ordering room service just to see people?
I really am, and I'm looking at the window, looking at cars driving by, and I'm waving up top. So, but it's good though.
And this is New York City; they don't wave back.
Yeah, exactly.
They really don't. They really don't. They're looking up and laughing at me, to be honest.
They just sent out a bulletin saying "strange person waving to others" up there.
This is so un-New York,
man.
Oh man. So, seriously, is your Dr. John's here? Is your mental health okay, having been trapped in a room by yourself for 6 days?
Anthony, I'll go ahead and tell him. So he's been texting me while he's gone, Dave. He's not doing good. He is unraveling right in front of us.
No, man, I'm all right. I'm making it. But it is boring, and I miss the family though. But hey, we're here to help people, so I'm good. I'll sacrifice for the people. If it wasn't for our people, Dave, I would not have done it.
I told my wife that my friend Anthony was going to have to spend 6 days by himself in a hotel, and she just paused and said, I can think of no greater heaven than 6 days without me and the kids in a hotel in New York. But
yeah,
thanks for taking one for the team, Anthony.
Yeah, you did something none of the rest of us were willing to do. Alex gave a great introduction during staff meeting this morning on the new podcast coming out, and we need to let everybody know that Anthony O'Neill has a brand new podcast as of today, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's drops on Apple, Spotify, Pandora, and it's still on YouTube as well. But it's the new podcast right here on the Ramsey Network, The Table with Anthony O'Neill. Feels so weird to say Anthony O'Neill when I'm Anthony O'Neill. But, yeah, it's The Table with Anthony O'Neill. It's going to be a great, great podcast, Dave.
So what is I know, but I'll give you the underhand pitch. Why is it named The Table?
Well, it's named The Table because actually, our tribe called it The Table, but I really wanted to make a place and a space where people can feel comfortable to come and have a real, relevant, and relatable conversation. And when it comes to dealing with our finances, when it comes to building healthy relationships, when it just comes to life in general. When you think of the table, you think about coming somewhere and you having something to eat and you just having a good time. And you just get comfortable at the table and you just talk and you listen and you laugh. And sometimes you may cry and sometimes you may argue. And so I wanted people to know, like, here at the table, we're going to have some rough conversations, but we're going to also have some life transformation conversations, especially around finances, relationships, and just building true success.
Yeah, how to have a quality, well-rounded, successful life. And really, I think this kind of was, I guess it was expanded, maybe it was born a little bit all on the subject of racism. And, you use that platform to have some difficult conversations during a time that everybody needed a place to talk, right?
Yeah, we did. It was last February when we launched the Black History panel, and it was just so great because it pretty much birthed out of that. And so we just kept the table going from there. And Dave, we're bringing that actually back next week, the Black History panel. It's a special edition of the table, and I'm really excited about that. That'll be on the podcast dropping Monday through Friday next week on podcast and on my YouTube channel. So we're going back to where it birthed, where it started. But man, there's the conversation from there, though. It's just so much more than just racism. It's really just about how do we build a true successful life. But here's what I learned, Dave. A lot of young people want to be successful, but they don't know where to start and how to make their dreams become a reality. So I literally created a space to where I can walk them through that entire process. John's been on the show. Dave hasn't been on the show yet, but he'll be on next month. So not next month.
He hadn't
in the first quarter.
Been on my show either, Anthony. Don't take it personally.
It's there is this thing you have to be invited.
Oh, here we go.
So
here we go.
You two stop your whining. I'm just saying.
Listen, man. The CEO of Ramsey Network says he has to be invited. He can just walk.
I don't barge into your space, man. I don't walk into your room with my buddy boots on. Besides that, what are you going to call it? The Boomer Edition? Come on.
I love it, man. But no, Dave, you're on. I've already gone with your assistant, and you're already scheduled for a day. So I'm looking forward to it because I want to introduce our tribe over there in the AO circle, just the cool, honest, transparent, fun, cool, relatable Dave. So I'm looking forward to that conversation.
I'd like to meet that guy too, so I'll be listening to that episode, Anthony. That'll be good.
If we run into him, we'll send him right over.
I will send him over. That's right.
Yeah, this is going to be great. It's going to be great because the
really
types
excited.
of people you've had on the YouTube version of this, Ian Cron talking about the Enneagram, the Annie F. Downs has been on, Matthew McConaughey's been on. I mean, lots of quality folks have been on just to lead anyone that's willing to watch or listen to the table on podcast or YouTube to give them a better roadmap for their life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dave. And it's so funny. Today, when we launched the podcast, Matthew McConaughey is on there, and he's talking about 3 key things that has helped him build his wealth and has helped him build his success in the acting career. And the man he's just getting straight down and being very real. So I want to encourage everyone to get the podcast and listen to the podcast. And I got to say this, when you come to the AO, the table with Anthony O'Neill, you're going to learn how to build wealth and develop strong relationships and find out how to have the hard conversations and get advice you need to be successful around your finances and mental health. So I want to encourage you. It's going to be a fun conversation, but I promise you, you will walk away with something that you can apply today and that will change your future. Because you all know me. The caliber of our future is determined by the choices you make today. And you're going to make the right choice by subscribing to the podcast, because together we're going to grow and go further along in our journey.
Anthony O'Neill, it's called The Table. Check it out on all podcast locations as well as YouTube. And John, when Anthony comes back, you've got to debrief him and make sure he's okay from a mental health standpoint after having been trapped in a room by himself for 6 days.
Listen, there is a limit to what I'm able to do, Dave. There are practicing professionals that he's going to have to sit with. It's going to be a minute.
But
Anthony, I subscribed this morning. Personally, obviously you're one of my close friends here, but I can't wait to dig in and to listen to this myself, and I'm grateful for you, man. It's going to be super successful. You're going to help a lot of people.
Yeah, you will. I'm so proud of you, sir. Very well
awesome.
done.
Man,
looking forward to big things.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you and John.
All right. Anthony O'Neill, ladies and gentlemen. You can check him out at anthonyo'neill.com, of course. One of our Ramsey personalities has had multiple bestsellers, had a #1 with Debt-Free Degree, and, of course, Destroy Your Student Loan Debt is a follow-up that we did from that. He's done all of that stuff. He's been preaching about student loans for years and years, helping people with that. And so this is going to be amazing. This guy has really caught his stride. He's in his zone.
You know, in this world, we get to meet a lot of quote-unquote influencers and people who are so excited to see their name in shiny lights. And that drives me bananas, to be honest with you. And it makes your heart swell when you meet somebody like Anthony that behind closed doors is so passionate, not about having his name look shiny, but about helping young people, helping new adults, helping folks who are making that transition from 20 to 30, 30 to 40, not have to walk in that walk that he did. That if you cannot sleep in your car, man, if you cannot have train wreck relationships, he's so passionate about it. And so the influencer part is just simply a vehicle for him to help other people, and he loves it, man. And that's just me talking about my friend. And so I love how this thing is taken off, and I love how successful he's been. I love how authentic he's been. It's awesome just to get to sit by it and watch him.
Yep, absolutely. He's doing really, really good work. I agree. Anthony O'Neill, be sure and check out The Table. Spotify, iTunes, Google, anywhere where you're picking up podcasts, you can get them there. And, of course, the YouTube version has been there for a while, and we'll continue to add. And it'll be the same exact content, only you can watch it for those of you that are YouTubers. And he's got quite a following there.
Oh, man.
It's been
Massive.
vastly popular. So this is the Dave Ramsey Show.
healthcare has gotten to be ridiculous. It puts people, on the brink. And so it would have put us on the brink had we not had CHM. CHM saved our life, saved our financial lives.
Christian Healthcare Ministries, or CHM, is not health insurance, but it is a budget-friendly option and the original health cost-sharing ministry for Christians. Learn more today and check us out at chministries.org. That's chministries.org.
Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Adrian is with us in Long Beach. Hi, Adrian. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. How you doing? Thanks for taking my call.
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
So my wife and I started the financial piece this month.
Yay!
And, we're currently on baby step one, which we have about $500.
Attaboy.
But we want some advice on what we should do with our vehicles. Currently, I make around $35,000 a year. My wife makes $52,000. We have $110,000 in debt. And the vehicles we currently own, my wife's vehicle is $24,000. My vehicle is a lease, which has $22,000 left, and I'm already over mileage. And I just don't know what to do here. I kind of want to get rid of them. I just don't know what to do.
Okay. All right. Well, the rule of thumb that we use on cars is two things. If you like them and want to keep them, the only way you would want to keep them mathematically is if they total up to less than half your annual income, which these two barely do, but they're right around it. And you can be debt-free, not counting your house, without selling them in 2 years or less. And that's questionable here. So both of those things point to selling one or both of these cars. And it sounds like the one you're fleecing is the biggest mess of the two. So if we're going to start, we'd start with that one probably.
Right. Yeah.
That kind of sounds like the conclusion you'd already come to.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it. It's just I don't know. I was just a little confused because I don't know how to sell it. If I wanted to sell it, should I just buy it outright?
No.
And then just...
Well, you have to buy it outright and sell it simultaneously. Here's how you do it, okay? There's a couple of numbers you've got to gather up to figure out what to do. Number one, who's the car fleeced from? Who's the fleece with?
Toyota.
Who?
Toyota.
Toyota.
I'm sorry, I'm deaf as a post.
Right.
Okay. Toyota. All right. And so you're going to call Toyota Motor Credit and say, here's my account number. What is the early buyout on the fleece if I want to pay it off today and you send me the title? Okay. So it's like having the payoff on your loan if you had a loan, but that's not what it's called on a fleece. Okay. Now, it should be at the end of your lease, there is a figure that you can buy the car for after the lease is over, and you have your remaining payments. If you add your remaining payments to that figure at the end of the lease, that's your total exposure on this car, and the early buyout should be less than that by a couple $1,000 anyway, a few $1,000s.
Okay.
So how much is left on the fleece? How much before it's over?
It's $22,000.
No, how many months?
I have one more year left, February of next year.
Okay, so you have. So $22,000 includes that you've gotten the early buyout. It sounds like.
Well, I looked up on my, on my account. It says $22,000 left on the loan.
Okay, no, that's not the number I'm looking for. All right, you got to call them. And you got to get the early buyout, okay? Because that number is the number I'm talking about. It's the total of all your payments remaining plus your buyout at the end. How much is your payment?
Okay. It's about $400.
Yeah. Okay. And so you got like $5,000 of those, plus you got a $17,000 buyout at the end, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound about right?
Okay. Right.
Okay. And so anyway, let's pretend that when you call them, it's $20,000 for the early buyout. That's probably not going to be that far off. Somewhere in that range. Okay. Then you look up on Kelley Blue Book and find out what the car is worth private sale. Have you done that yet?
Yes, and it's about $21,000.
Good. Okay. So you can sell it and pay them off and get out basically about even, right?
Right.
That's awesome. And then we've just got to get you a $1,000 or a $1,500 car that you pay cash for, and we're going to drive that hoopty for a little while you get yourself out of debt. Now, we're going to do the same thing with her car if we can't get you moving and get you out of debt.
Okay.
Either one of you got overtime available?
Yes.
What do you do to make $35,000?
I'm an estimator at a construction company.
Okay, so what are you going to do for extra income?
I was thinking of starting maybe a side business doing some power washing.
Love it.
You know, I have that all the equipment here at the office, and they tell me I can use it freely. So
That's what I'm talking
There
about.
you go. You're the man right there, man. You can double your dadgum income.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and you're going to, yeah, that's a ton. That's awesome. Yeah, there you go. And now we're going to put you on a budget, and you guys aren't going out to eat, and you're not going on vacation. We're going to list these debts smallest to largest. We're going to attack these debts in like a vengeance. And so now we've got like $90,000 of debt left after we get rid of your car. And if we do $45,000 a year for 2 years out of 87, you're debt free in 2 years.
Right. Awesome.
And I think that's doable, but it's going to require extreme focus and concentration, and no one takes your eye off the ball.
And lots of Saturdays and Sundays, starting early, power washing until it gets dark, and getting up and doing it again. Right.
Sounds good.
The next 2 years are power washing. And then after that, you're going to hate power washing for the rest of your life.
You will be part of the California water crisis, my friend.
Single-handedly caused the crisis.
Single-handedly. Yeah. That's right. But they will be shiny and clean, right?
Everybody's going to be clean. There's not going to be any mold or mildew.
Nope.
I love it. Well done. Yeah, hang on, man. I'm going to also put you into Ramsey Plus because you need to be in there going through Financial Peace University. He said he was already in it.
No, he just started I think got word of it.
Okay. If he's not already in it, put him in it as my guest. We're going to take care of him. Eric is with us in Cincinnati, just giving everybody stuff. Hey, Eric, what's up, man?
Hey, thanks for taking my call today.
Sure. How can we help?
Well, I need your permission on buying a vehicle.
No,
I
you
want to
don't.
buy my Dave car.
No, you don't. I'll give you an opinion, but you don't need my permission. You're a grown person.
Yeah. I hear you. So I'll give you my stats. I'm on 4, 5, and 6, and I think I'm in the right place to purchase this vehicle. I don't want to buy a new one. I want to buy a Toyota Tacoma, and I don't want to buy it new, but I want to buy it like 2 or 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I'm thinking about doing. I've got the cash to do it.
What's it cost?
I'm looking to spend about 25 to.
Are you married?
A little over 20. Yes.
What's her car cost?
Well, she is a business car through her work.
So she doesn't have a car in her name. The business gives her a car.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And what's your household income?
About $115,000.
Okay. And you have your emergency fund in place and you're out of debt, except your house.
Correct. Yes.
I'd buy it.
Okay.
It's a good truck.
All right. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't like overstepping or.
Do you know how I did that?
I think how you did it was that it's less. I have less than half my household income in things that depreciate in value.
There you go.
Right.
Yep. You're paying cash.
Okay. Yeah.
And you have your emergency fund in place, so it's not an emergency to buy a taco. But tacos are great trucks.
My wife, she likes to have an emergency to the emergency fund.
I like her.
Yeah, and so she's very much like yours. And so I'm just trying to figure out, we would be dipping into the emergency of the emergency fund.
Hey, Eric, you're a smart guy, and you clearly have worked together with your wife to to get an emergency fund, get out of debt, do all this stuff the right way. Trust your instincts and trust the math, man. You guys are doing good stuff.
Very well done. Very well done. Tacos are good trucks. We
great truck,
got a couple of them in the Ramsey family. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best possible deal.
All right, today's question comes from Joshua in Indiana. Joshua asks, how can I start to rebuild my relationship with my son after being absent for a long time? After years of fighting with his mom, she got custody and was able to move 16 hours away. I'm trying to learn to slowly rebuild the trust with him and start moving forward. What is the best way to start? Man, there's a lot here. I'd want to know how old this kid is, and for some reason she was allowed to move 16 hours away, so I want to know what trust you're rebuilding from. But at the end of the day, Dave, I think it starts with contact and intentionality and being accountable to yourself. What does that mean? That means I'm going to call at the same time every week. That means I'm going to FaceTime at the same time every week, and no matter what, I'm not going to miss that. I'm going to save my money and come to a basketball game if I can. I'm going to write handwritten letters so he's got a legacy of me reaching out. And when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to be real intentional about being in that young boy's life. But this is the key here, man, is you're playing a long game now, Joshua. You're not going to fix this in 6 months. You're not going to fix this in 2 years. This is one of those things that you want your son to know that you were relentless in pursuing him when he turns 25 and when he turns 27. And that's hard.
And we don't know what all happened here,
that's
obviously. Right. My tendency, and I think I'm going to guess and call it a human tendency, would be to want to tell my part of the story, and that's probably not useful.
It's almost never, ever useful because most of us want...
I want to defend myself.
There you go.
You know, and I want him to, like, take my side, kind of.
Right.
I think that's kind of a human thing, and most of the time in these situations, that's counterproductive, isn't it?
Right. That's unless one day Joshua is old enough to process it, and that's not 21 or 25.
Well, and that's not him asking in the first conversation, what happened? And you go, well, you just don't know about your mother.
Absolutely not. And you do whatever you can to stay neutral or be positive about mom. But when parents start running each other down to try to look better in the eyes of their children, they're seeking approval from children. Right? And a child can't carry that weight. They can't carry the complexity of my dad's a good guy and does things that I don't approve of or I don't like at the same time. It takes most of us until we're adults, until we're parents, before we realize just how hard it is to be a grown-up, to be an adult, right? And There's things I love about my old man, and there's things I'm doing differently with my kid. And that all is in the same package, all the same guy, and I love it all. But
that's also part of the human condition.
I didn't understand that.
I don't think there's ever been a human that goes, I want to do it exactly like they did.
Right. If you do, whoa.
That's strange.
You should see somebody too, right? Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Dave, telling your side of the story doesn't help. Almost never, unless there's just some abuse. Mom is very sick. And in these situations, it's rare that someone is sick or abusive and gets to move 16 hours away.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that would be unusual.
And Joshua, if it's appropriate here, start the conversation with, I'm sorry. or your daddy messed up, and he's working as hard as he can to show you that he loves you. And teaching humility, teaching vulnerability is a big thing for dads.
Yeah. There's how do you rebuild trust in any situation where your spouse doesn't trust you with money? I get that one a lot.
Yep.
Because I messed up, I overspent, and I had credit cards, and now 10 years later, I'm still not allowed to touch the money because she won't trust me or he won't trust me.
Right.
Well, how do you rebuild trust? You first have to be worthy of trust. That's called trustworthy.
Right.
And that's what you were talking about early in this discussion here, which is the steadiness, the consistency,
keep showing
the
up.
predictability.
Right.
Part of if you want to step out on the ice, do you trust the ice? What you're asking is it predictable?
Right. Will you be there?
Can I count on it?
Right.
Is it going to crack and I'm going to fall through, or is it solid enough ice that I can step out on it and not end up in the river? And so, the trust is about predictability, consistency. It's a type of integrity. The word integrity is where we get our word integer. Or it comes from the same word we get the word integer from, which is any whole number, no fractions.
I like that.
And so for you math nerds, but yeah, integrity is wholeness, and it's like, so you can't be one person on Sunday and two people on, another person on Monday and another person on Friday night.
There you go.
That's fractured.
Right.
It's not worthy of trust.
Of that whole.
It's not whole.
But the challenge here is you can't hold the outcome. He could theoretically show up and be a great father from here to kingdom come, and this young child may never come around. He can't hold that. There's a point when somebody commits financial infidelity, and 10 years later, it's not their problem anymore. Their partner needs a heart change.
Yeah.
Their wife needs to grow up. Their husband needs to put that nonsense down, right? And you can't hold that outcome. You've got to continue to be a person of integrity for you. You got to keep leaning in and doing it and doing it and doing it.
I can't control what they can do. All I can control is what I do.
That's right. And once you start chasing their approval, that's when you get yourself in trouble. You overspend. You do these weird big presents and weird big trips trying to win approval from a child. Can't do it, man.
I just a friend of mine recommended a movie that apparently everybody's seen but me.
What's that?
Warrior.
Oh, it's good.
It's right on this subject.
That's my MMA world, man. It's good.
MMA
good.
stuff.
That's
and
right.
I watched it the other night. It's very much this subject.
Yeah.
Very much this subject. Well acted, well written too. And
it's a beautiful story of brotherhood and redemption and
sorta.
I wept. Sorta.
Mostly.
That's right.
Mostly.
Sorta.
It's kind of a modern day Rocky, but except better.
Yeah.
And it was really good. But I thought Nick Nolte probably did need an Oscar or something out of that. That was pretty freaking incredible. It's an old movie though. Was it like 2011 or something?
It's been out for a minute.
I guess I'm just the last of the party, but I got there. So but it's the same thing. This idea that you can't just show back up and it's all okay, like nothing happened.
It's all good. That's right. But that doesn't mean you don't show up.
Right.
Because the showing up heals you from the inside out, right? And you keep showing up and you keep showing up. And there's that beautiful moment when he falls off the wagon and his son's there, his son knows, right? You keep showing up, man. And redemption may not look like the fantasy picture you have. There's no soundtrack that swells and there's no people cheering for you. But redemption almost always comes. It just looks different than we think it's going to.
And it's like a lot of things, like a lot of healing. It's messy.
Yeah. Oh, it's a mess.
Because there's wounds.
Yeah, there's just trash cans full of gauze over there in the corner. It's a mess. It's gross. But it doesn't mean it's not the right thing.
Yeah.
Man, healing hurts everybody. But so, hey, nothing else, Joshua. We know the data. There's millions of dads who don't even ask this question. Mom moves 16 hours away and they give up. They cash in. And they sit there and lick their wounds and they chase whatever addiction's going to numb that hurt that son's gone and wife's gone. And kudos to you for saying, I don't want to be that guy. I want to rebuild. And what can I own here, man? I'll tell you, you can own almost all of it and just get to work. Being a dad's hard, Dave.
Yeah, it is. And Meg Meeker does a lot of really good writing on this. Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters, and Hero Dads, and her books and materials on the power of father, even being absent. I'm reading his line here for a long time, still showing up. Well, Christy Wright's story.
Yep.
Christy's got a great redemption story on this process, and it's a powerful thing. And it needs to happen. So, yeah, I commend you. I'm with John on this, Joshua. I commend you on doing that. But I think it's good to remember, whether it's in business or working with an audience, you guys' relationship with us that are out there. Are we worthy of trust? Are we consistent? I get one of my biggest criticisms is, Dave, you're a one-trick pony. You don't have but one thing to say over and over and over. And I go, yeah.
Yep.
But I always say the same thing.
That's right.
You can count on it.
Yep.
I never violate it. Because just one time, it'll make the front page of the paper if I violate. Just one time you're inconsistent in someone's mind. They're begging for a reason to carve you out,
right?
To cancel you in the cancel culture. Just begging for a reason. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Open phones this hour as we talk about your life and your money. You jump in, we'll talk about your life. We'd love to have you. Dr. John Deloney is my co-host today. Ramsey personality, best-selling author of the book Redefining Anxiety. You can call here at 888-825-5225, and we will talk. Adam is in Cincinnati. Hi, Adam. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
My wife and I recently finished paying off all her debt except for our home, and I am blessed to get a 7.5% match on my 401k from my employer.
Wonderful.
When I'm calculating saving for retirement, do I do 15% excluding that match?
Yes.
Okay. And then should I put all of it into that, or should I only put in to get the maximum match and then put the rest in a separate account?
Well, the rule we use is we call it kind of rock, paper, scissors, except it only works one way. And that is match is best. So for sure, the first 7.5 we're doing, right?
Well, I have to do 5% to get 7.5.
You have to put in how much?
5%.
Okay, then the first 5% is a no-brainer, okay? We're going to do the match first. Then we're going to do Roth. Now, they offer your 401k in a Roth.
I'll have to check. I doubt it because we have a big company that we go through third party. So I doubt it. I think it's just a slate of index funds that we can choose to invest in.
Who do you work for? It's a company or a large? What?
It's a large company.
Well, most third parties are offering Roth. I mean, if they're with with Fidelity, or they're with TIAA, or they're with whoever, most of those would have a Roth available. If your company chose not to offer it, that would be what's unusual.
Okay.
So let's pretend both ways, and then you'll have your answer. Okay. Number one, we're going to take the match. The second thing is we're going to take Roth, because the best thing is double your money. In your case, more than double your money, 5 to 7.5. The next best thing is tax-free growth. And the next best thing is the traditional, which is tax-deferred growth. You don't pay taxes on the money, and you get to grow money with what is going to be taxes someday. And so that's your last mathematical choice, but none of them are horrible choices. So we're going to take your 5% match, and then we're going to do a Roth. Now, if your company offers it and you have good options and you want to do it all there, that's fine. If you want to do a Roth as an individual, Roth for you and your wife, you can just get in touch with one of our SmartVestor pros and sit down with them. They can help you select the types of mutual funds we pick: growth and income, aggressive growth, and international, spreading it across those 4 evenly. But then if you've maxed out Roth and you still haven't gotten to you putting in 15%, let's say, for instance, your company does not have a Roth and you go do a couple of Roths individually, and that plus your 5% is still not 15%, then you'd go back and do some non-matching traditional in your original 401k.
So, Dave, I've worked at multiple places over the course of my career, and every place is different when it comes to match. What is when a company's thinking through what the match is? Why does it vary so much? Is it a matter of how much money the company has, or is it we pay a little bit higher salaries here, so we match a little bit lower here, or what's the thinking?
It can be anything. Obviously, well, not necessarily obvious. In most cases, the match is vested instantly, meaning that if you leave, it goes with you.
Right.
Okay? Very unusual for it to not be. The second thing then is you're using the match to not only be generous to the team, but in most cases, somebody wants it to give you a reason to stay.
It's like
compensation
tool, right?
It's like being paid well.
Okay.
It gives you a reason to stay. I get paid well here, so I want to stay here.
Right.
And so I got this great match. It's a bit of a golden handcuffs thing.
Right.
I wouldn't want to give up this match, and so, if I'm going to give this job up, I'm going to give that match up, and oh boy.
Yeah.
But if they go, well, they don't match anyway, and then put match over here, so it's a competitive thing for hiring or retaining team members. It's a way to be generous.
When I see a 7% match, that makes me think something. Whether they're being super generous on the back end, or they may compress salaries a little bit over here, or maybe I'm just a cynical guy there, or maybe they're trying to make it hard for you to leave.
Yeah, 7.5 is unusual.
That's high. I've never heard that high.
Well, I've seen 10. I've seen up to 15.
No, I had an 8 one. Yeah, I did.
But it's an unusual number. It's usually 5 or 3.
Right.
And most of them are 78% of the companies match.
Right.
Now, something. So not matching anything leaves you at a disadvantage from the standpoint of hiring or retaining to other employers who do. So it's a competitive advantage, so to speak. But probably it's a huge company. I'll give you a guess.
Okay.
10, 15 years ago or more, they did away with their old pension plan.
Okay.
And they converted the money that they used to dump into that, and they moved everybody out, and a bunch of people were pissed. They moved them all into 401ks, and so they just did the math, and it came out 7.5.
And they left it.
And they just did it, even if you're not putting in 7.5. That's a real unusual thing there. They're giving a match that's higher than what he puts in.
Right.
That's very unusual.
Yeah.
I hardly ever see that.
That's just a free 2.5% then.
Yeah. That's very unusual. So it has something to do with something else.
That's what I'm wondering.
Probably.
And I've never been a CEO of my own company that way. So,
but if the old-fashioned pension plans, like when I started the show 20 years ago, there were a lot more pension plans than there were 401ks. And every year they just kept dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping.
Because people started getting on the 10 key.
They're very they're very expensive.
This doesn't
and
work.
The 401k, you control your destiny.
Yeah.
The team member controls their own destiny. They can become a millionaire, and lots of people have with their 401ks. Just steadily investing, and you take it with you when you leave. You roll it to an IRA when you leave. It's yours. You don't have to. The pension's got all these rules on it, and do I buy more years? Do I wait until do I wait till I'm 62 or 63 and a half, or all this crap and nuanced stuff you have to get into with the pension? The 401k is just real clean, real simple. The cost to the company is two things: whatever you match, and the cost of the administration. Which, with 1,000 employees here, our administrative bill is. It's just south of $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
Just to keep up with the dadgum regulations,
Oh,
But and that's money that just, goes out to, quote, professionals to do the stuff. And, I'm not mad at them or anything, but that's all based on federal regulations. Scared to death somebody's going to screw somebody with a 401k. And so that's money that doesn't go into our team's account. But we've got a match here. And for a long time when we first started, our match didn't start until you'd been here a year.
Yep.
Because we wanted to
make sure
you're here before we start giving you money, extra money. And so it was more like a long-term team member thing. Now, we start it now at 90 days after everything else, or start it immediately or whenever. When's your start? Remember?
I don't remember.
Right. I don't remember if it was first day or 90 days, but like all our other benefits are set up same way. So, but as we've gotten bigger and had a little more money, we've relaxed some of that. Good questions. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Folks, it's an honor to tell you about the Army National Guard. Not only are they big supporters of our high school curriculum, but they also give you the opportunity to impact your local communities. Whether your goals are to get an education, serve your country, or have a better life, the Army National Guard can help get you there. Plus, they offer unbelievable financial benefits. Secure your future today. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Do you feel like you'll never save enough money or pay off all your debt? And after a year like 2020, most of America feels that way. But money should not be one more thing you have to worry about. And that's why in 2020, we are hitting reset. Because no matter what's happening in this crazy butt world, you can take control of your money. You just need the right plan. Ramsey Plus is our step-by-step plan that helps you get quick wins so you can make real progress on your debt, because once you get all your debt out of your life, you get your money back. And you can be more generous and invest and become wealthy. That means you can finally start spending and saving money without worry and get the security that you need right now. So here's our challenge. Decide on a total money reset this year, then start Ramsey Plus. Commit to working hard the first 90 days. Watch all those small daily wins. We will show you exactly what to do the first 90 days. Turn into lifelong habits so you never feel out of control again. You can get a free trial at Ramsey Plus for free just by going to DaveRamsey.com/reset. DaveRamsey.com/reset. Nick is with us in Greenville, South Carolina. Hi, Nick. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
4 years ago, I got stupid, filed Chapter 13. Moved in with my sister. She kicked me out in July, so I became homeless. Ain't no big deal. Me and the dog jumped in the truck. Well, I made the last payment on that Chapter 13 today, and when can I tell them they can have this truck?
You made the last payment on the Chapter 13 today. You're living in your truck. What kind of truck? You talking about a semi?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you're driving over the road?
Yes, sir. And I'm so tired of this.
Okay.
Now, I do have the VA, so, I don't really need, the down payment or anything. I'm just curious, I know it's not going to, I don't know.
Was the truck, did you have it financed in the 13?
Oh, no, sir. No, sir. I'm a company driver. I'm not an owner-operator.
Oh, it's not your truck?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. So you're just you and the dog are living over the road, and you're sick of the road, and you finally got your 13 closed up, so all your bills are behind you.
Yes, sir. I'm debt-free, except I just don't have a house.
Yeah. So what are you going to do for a living if you come off the road?
I don't know. I may go back to running city or find something completely different.
Okay, cool. What do you make now?
About 60.
Do you have any debt at all?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you have any money?
After today, no.
Okay.
I think I got $200. But
you're done. So you're going to be driving a little while longer, agreed?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm not trying to jump out of it today. I'm just looking realistically. How long am I looking at? Because 20 years is too long.
I got you. We need a better plan. This one doesn't scale well. I got you. Right. And I agree with you, by the way. How old are you?
42.
Cool. You're obviously single.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. What I would do is rent before you buy. I wouldn't worry about buying today, because with the Chapter 13, it has obviously messed up your credit. You filed bankruptcy. And yeah, you can get in on the VA, and they'll be more lenient on that, but I wouldn't today. Instead, if I were in your shoes, I would say, all right, if I drive X number of months, let's just pick out a number, and you let's call it 6 months. I'm going to drive for 6 more months, and I'm going to pile up $10,000. Okay?
Okay.
I'm just making this up. Whatever the numbers work out. You decide. If it's 8 months, fine. If it's 5 months, fine. I don't care. And if it's not $10,000, if it's $8,000, that's fine. But you need a little nest egg between you and life, because life's been kicking your teeth in for a while, okay?
Okay.
A little pad, like $10,000, would make you walk a little more, strut a little more rather than walk, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then I would just get me an inexpensive one-bedroom apartment rental, get me an inexpensive $2,000 car that I pay cash for, and I would line up a job that gets me off the road. I'm sorry?
My pickup was included in the Check 13, and that's paid off.
Oh, good. So you got a car.
So I don't even have that.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What's it worth?
16 Ford F-150. I had an offer for 16.6, I think.
Okay.
16.6.
All right. That's a lot of car for where you are right now. If you want to hold on to it, you can. I don't care. You got it paid off.
Or you can sell it today and have $15,000 in cash in your pocket, right?
Right.
That'd be tempting to me, and get me a $5,000 truck, and have $10,000 in my pocket, and go ahead and start looking for a job to come off the road, and looking for a little one-bedroom apartment to come off the road, and get your life set. Because your rhythm right now is throwing gears. That's your whole rhythm. And I want to reset your rhythm into not being out of town. You and the dog have an apartment, or a little small home of some kind. Something. It doesn't have to be much, because you're not going to be there forever. You're going to be there for 2 years while you finish this transition out of the 13 and off the road. Does that make any sense?
Yes, sir.
And Nick, there's some literature out there. There's some nerd research out there that talks about what it's like to sleep in your own bed for 60 days, for 90 days, and your whole body, your whole mind starts healing itself. And there's something about showering in your own place and sleeping in your own place, and suddenly things clear up when it comes to thinking, right? And then this new job, what am I going to do next? Some of those things get a little more clear because you get a little more stable and a little deeper sleep.
If I were you, I'd start looking for a job today. As soon as I found one, I'd sell my truck, get me a $5,000 truck, and come off the road. And if you can do that in a week, I'd do it.
And I got fond memories of just me and my old hound dog in a one-bedroom apartment for a couple. It was awesome, man.
No doubt.
Right.
No doubt.
And just kind of, and then just kind of get, off the road, no bankruptcy, no crap flying around your head. And you get a calmer, more peaceful rhythm to your life. And then that allows you to start growing your career into the future. That allows you to start, plugging into a good church. That allows you to start working out again. That allows you to, think about buying a home 2 years from now, start setting some goals on all of that. And, if you were my little brother, that's what I'd tell you to do. Mm-hmm. If you want to keep the truck and wait 4 months or 5 months and pile up some cash, that's fine. I would personally, I think you'll get you another truck someday soon, and I would rather personally be off the road and get this fresh start if I were you than own the truck. But that's just me. You get to decide that as to how quick you want to do that. But to me, that is an unusually large item value-wise in this story.
Yeah.
It stands out in this story. And so I would use it to reset my life and get in a slower, peaceful rhythm that I can use to build my wealth, build my body, build my spirit, build relationships again. Because you're just gone all the time. You're just throwing gears, man.
And when you're sleeping in a truck, you're not all the way asleep. You're not sleeping for 7-8 hours at a time. You're not getting that. You don't have that place to anchor into.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
And it sounds like there's some relationship steps you need to work on, whether it's go back and call on your sister and slowly start to heal that, or healing some of those old relationships, man. But having a good place that you anchor in so that you're steady and you're having that just peace, man.
Yeah.
Then that's a great place.
The great news is you're free from the bankruptcy. It's all in your rearview mirror. So you got a whiteboard. You got a brand new day, brand new year, brand new thing. Yeah. As soon as you can find a job, if I'm you, I'm going to sell the truck and come off the road.
Yeah. And
I start looking today. That's you do whatever you want, but that's our advice for you, listening to you. And I really, really appreciate the kind of guy you are. That you're a guy that just scratches and scraps, pushes through, makes it happen. Me and the dog jumped in the truck and got her done.
Man.
You know, I
Making
love that.
60 grand, crush, doing a great job, man.
You're working your butt off. You're going all the time. I love that. And I think the next phase is going to be so much better for you.
Yeah.
You got some real cool things in the next 12 to 24 months for you if you make real careful, wise choices. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Cliff and I joined Christian Healthcare Ministries because we really liked the concept of Christians sharing each other's burdens. And we really experienced that firsthand when Cliff was diagnosed with heart disease. It was just such a relief to know that financial burden was going to be taken care of.
CHM is the original and longest-serving health cost-sharing ministry. Get started today and check us out at chministries.org.
Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Adam is in Dallas. Hi, Adam. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Thanks for taking our call.
Sure. How can we help?
My wife and I, we are currently working through baby step 2. We are about halfway through that process. And my question is, my wife she's an operator of a woman's retail store, and we eventually are going to have the opportunity to purchase that store outright. At the end of 2020, she received kind of, I guess it would be like a bonus from the company. So our question is, do we put that aside in some type of fund to save to purchase that business down the road, or do we throw that at our snowball and try to help us get out of baby step 2 with that money?
I'm a little bit confused. This sounds like a big company on one hand. On the other hand, it sounds like a local boutique, and she's buying out a single store. Or is this a chain, or is it a franchise?
It's not a chain. There's multiple stores. Ours would be the local store in the little town that we live in that we would be purchasing.
And other people do that in their towns? Or is this the first time the company sold one of the company stores to a former employee?
Right. This would be the first time, yeah.
Do you have any idea what the store is going to cost?
We have a figure, yes.
How much?
We know the number on that, $400,000.
Okay. Well, let's just talk about the business aspect for a minute then. I want to buy a $400,000 business. You're in debt in baby step 2, which tells me you do not have any money, right?
Not the kind of money to buy that store right now, no.
Well, if you're working baby step 2, you should not have any money but $1,000, and all of it should have been applied to baby step 2 unless it's in a retirement account.
Right.
Is that where we are?
Right. I mean, that's where we are, yes, sir.
Okay, so you don't have $100,000 in a mutual fund sitting to the side somewhere?
No.
Okay. What do you make?
About $75 a year.
What does she make?
Around 100.
What's the net profit on that store? Do you have any idea?
Net profit on the store, you know?
Around
Around 100,000.
After she's paid her 100, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, 400 is not a bad purchase price on it then. That's a fairly reasonable valuation if it includes all fixtures, inventory, receivables, and everything. That's not a bad price. The biggest problem is you don't have any money. So,
right.
Okay, let's go back to your original question and then let me solve the problem on buying the store, okay? Because I want to try to do both, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Number one is, how big is her bonus coming?
It was $30,000.
And how much debt do you guys have left in baby step 2?
We are right at 45 that we have left.
Okay, so let's pretend that you set $30,000 to the side and you don't use it to get out of debt. Then you've got to pay off the $40,000 yet, okay? Or let's pretend you use the $30,000 and you get out of debt that much faster, and in the exact same period of time that you could have paid off $40,000 worth or $30,000 worth of debt, you could put back the $30,000.
Right.
So if we go to the end of this and there's $30,000 in your account and you're debt free, you'll get there in exactly the same speed, regardless of whether you pay down on the debt and then you use the fact when you're debt free to build the account back to 30, or whether you use the 30 to knock it out now and then you build the account back to 30. I mean, you leave the 30 alone and you just pay through it, or you use the 30 and get out. You're going to get out in the same speed.
Okay.
At the end of the story. Now, so I'm going to pay it on the debt for that reason, and because you need to be debt free before you talk about buying a $400,000 business. The second thing I'll tell you is that 80% of the small businesses fail in the first 5 years, and the number one reason they fail is cash flow problems, which falls under two headings. They screw up their taxes. They don't hold their sales tax back. They don't set their quarterlies aside on their income taxes. And the second thing they get into in cash flow is they get into debt. So you don't have any money, or you put down $50,000 and you take a $350,000 loan for a store that's making $100,000, and a pandemic hits and you go out of business and you're bankrupt. And that's what normally happens 8 out of 10 times. I would tell you, do not do that. I want you to buy the store, but I do not want you to buy it that way, with $350,000 worth of debt, with a $50,000 down payment, with an SBA loan on your home. There is a high probability you're going to fail and go bankrupt in that scenario. And I know you don't think that's possible, but it's very freaking possible. I've been doing this 30 years, and I see it all the time. So I don't want your dream of owning the store to turn into a nightmare. Fair enough? Here's what I would do.
Fair.
Number one possibility is you just pile up cash after you're out of debt so high that you pay cash for the store. That's one possibility. Now, that's going to take a little while. But you make $175,000 a year. How quickly can you come up with $400,000? Probably 4 years. You know, something like that.
Right.
Are they going to give you that long to buy it?
Well, I guess we're in a good, unique situation as far as purchasing the store. The $400,000 would be interest free, right? So it would just be.
Oh, they're going to loan it to you.
$400,000 outright. Well, not necessarily. We still have to come up with the money, but it's interest free. You know, we're not going to have to go take out a loan or anything like that.
Yeah, but you're going to owe them the money.
It's not calling the money.
You're going to owe them the money.
Right.
And until you pay them, they can come take it back if it fails.
Right.
Yeah. So they're going to owner finance it. Great. That's the best of all worlds. Let me do one thing. If I can talk you into changing the structure just a little bit. And you got to talk them into this. And since they've never done it before, there's no reason they can't be talked into it. Here's what I want to do. I would propose to them that if they're going to finance the store for you at zero interest at $400,000, that is an awesome deal. Thank you so very much. I want to pay you every bit of the profit above $75,000 salary instead of $100,000 salary that I'm going to give you 100% of profits above that until the $400,000 is paid. That's going to pay that store off in 3 years. 4 years. Okay? And now, here's the nuance to that. I said all the profits above $75,000, and you guys can easily make it in your house with your wife making $75 instead of making $100, you making $75. So you got $150,000 income in my scenario, and 100% of the profits, which is now $125, if our numbers are all right here, are going towards the $400. Are you following this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if profits drop because there's some weird pandemic or something happens, you're not bankrupt because all you've pledged them is 100% of the profits above 75. So if the stupid thing goes down, drops way down and doesn't net 125 above 75, it nets $1,000 above 75. You're going to give them $1,000 and take home 75. And you're not in bankruptcy court, and they're not foreclosing on you. Oh, if profits drop to 0 one year, you're going to give them 0 because they get 100% of the profits above 75. And if this all works out the way you all think it's going to perfectly, which, by the way, it never freaking does, you're going to be completely out of this in 36 to 48 months under my scenario. And you've done it interest-free, and they've accomplished their goal of selling you the store. It's a wonderful idea, and it doesn't bankrupt you if there's a freaking pandemic. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. It's tax season, or almost. Ugh. Ooh, what's worse than a pandemic? Taxes. Almost. So by the end of this month, employers must send you your W-2, your 1099s, and many people put filing their taxes off until later in the spring because, well, who wants to sit down and do taxes? The only people that rush into it are the ones that are getting a big refund, and a lot of them don't even rush into it. But folks, let me tell you, this year you'd be wise to start your taxes as early as possible. 2020 was crazy, and a lot happened that can affect your taxes. If taxes were confusing or complicated to you last year, this is not the year to do them alone. Our team has partnered with tax professionals across the country who will help you get your taxes done right and done now instead of later. So text TaxPro to 33789 and we'll get you some help with your taxes. That's TaxPro, no spaces, to 33789. TaxPro. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Nicholas is in Miami, Florida. Hi, Nicholas. How are you?
Hey, Dave. Hey, Dr. John. How you guys doing?
Great. How can we help?
First, I want to say thank you for taking my call. I appreciate it.
Sure.
So, recently separated from the military, March of 2020. Not by choice, might add. Made a few bad decisions, hung around some people that I shouldn't have, and ultimately got separated early. It wasn't on terrible terms. It was still an honorable discharge, but I just couldn't finish my contract. Mm-hmm. So early on in my time in the military, I purchased a vehicle, just as you do. As you know, a lot of people do in the military as soon as you get that paycheck. So purchased the vehicle for about $22,000, put zero down on it, and the payments came up to around $470 around that a month. I made the payments for about the first 4 months or so. And come the fifth month, or when the fifth month came around, I missed a payment and it just snowballed from there. Mm-hmm. And I didn't end up paying on the car for about a year and a half, or for the better part of a year and a half, around like a year, 3 months. And the car never got repossessed during that entire time.
Wow. Are you still you still have the car?
No, so it got repoed in May of 20. So I got the car
finally
in June of 2019.
Yeah.
paid for it for about the first 3 to 4 months.
Yeah,
and
so
then
so now you have a repo. Okay.
Yeah. Or sorry, not 29. I got the car in June of 2018, and then got repoed in May of 2020. Paid for it for about the first 4 months. So car got repoed, and they sell it to auction. And
Nicholas, what's your question?
I wanted to know what should I do, because I owe about. They offered me a settlement of $2,400 for the car.
Mm-hmm.
During the time that I got the car, I also bought a pair of tires,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't end up paying on that. So I own the tires. The tires were about $1,200.
Mm-hmm.
I got a settlement offer for that as well for about $250.
Okay, so $2,700 solves your problems.
And I have $1,000 in credit card debt.
Okay, $3,700 solves your problems. What's your income?
So I just got a job. I make, conservatively speaking, about $1,500 a month. And as of right now, I am a full-time student. I was looking at purchasing a vehicle. That was like the main thing. I wanted to purchase a vehicle this week, actually. I have about $3,000 saved. And I wanted to get a car, but I wanted to know...
How are you getting around now?
I use my grandma's car.
And is it an extra car, or why are you able to use her car?
Well, she doesn't really drive much. You know, she's up 76. She doesn't really drive at all.
Yeah.
So she just has it for emergencies, really, for her. But
yeah. So how much could you drive it for 2 more months?
Yeah, I could, but
Good.
I could, but
Good.
it's not.
I mean, it's not going to inconvenience her. She's not driving it. You just don't want to. How old are you?
22.
Ah, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So,
and
jumping into crap that you can't afford has caused you pain.
Right.
Time to stop doing that.
Yeah. Making decisions that you know aren't right has caused you pain, man.
You know this is not smart. So I'm going to take $2,000 of your $3,000 and get rid of $2,000 of the $3,700 worth of debt, which means I'm going to get rid of the tire debt and the credit card debt, and then I'm going to save towards $2,400 to settle that stupid debt with a repo, and you're going to be done with that in about a month and a half, because you need to be working like a maniac, like 6 jobs while you're in school full time. I want you to have no personal social life at all. I want you to do nothing but make money and clean up your dadgum mess. Because this is so stressful, dude. It's not fun.
Can hear it in your voice, man.
It's not fun. It's hard for you to even think through this clearly because the stress is so overwhelming. Am I wrong?
No.
It's driving you nuts. You're not even sleeping good, are you?
You hit it right on the nail, actually.
Yeah. I've been there, man. I've been that scared and freaked out. And let me just tell you, if you will work like a maniac, live on beans and rice, use $2,000 towards the $3,700 problem that you have, and then knock the $2,400 out in a month and a half to 2 months from now, and then save up and buy you a car for $3,000 in cash, by the end of by September, you're going to be debt-free, driving a car that you paid cash for, and working a plan called your education towards having a great life in the future. Now you got control of your dadgum life.
Right.
That sounds appealing to me.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, my plan was, and I know, especially hearing what you just said, I know you're going to disagree with it. I was gonna get a car for around $6,000.
You don't need any more debt, honey.
Man, don't do it, dude.
This has not been a blessing in your life.
Right.
You call me up stressed out, not sleeping, because you got debt and repos on tires and cars and credit cards, and no peace. That's why we call our thing financial peace. 2 words that don't go together. You know, so please don't do that, honey. You do whatever you want to do. You're 22. You're a grown man. You're allowed to do it. It's legal. But that doesn't mean it ain't stupid. Don't do it.
I want you to reverse engineer the last 24 months of your life, man, and look at the decisions that haven't worked, and don't voluntarily walk back into them. You've already done it, man. Taking out a big loan, it was probably a Jeep. It was stupid. And putting big tires on it was stupid. And you've been given a gift to settle at the price that you've been asked to settle. It's a gift, brother.
Yeah.
Take it. You told somebody, I will pay you, and you didn't, and they're offering you a way out. Do it. Go see one of the counselors that you pay for at this college. Go see somebody. Get your head screwed on straight, and don't make stupid decisions on top of stupid decisions. You're smarter than this, man. I know you are.
It's, ask yourself, what's going to give me peace? A new car payment is not on the list.
And doing the same thing that got you in this mess in the first place isn't the journey out. Take a new road, man.
Yeah. First step to getting out of debt, don't borrow anymore.
Man.
Big step. Big step. You can do it. You call me back if we can help you anyway. We're here to help you, man. I've been right where you are. I've been scared, and I've been living in the poop that I made, and that's where you are. And the trick is don't keep doing it.
And I feel myself getting passionate because I've been there too, man. Pacing my house.
It's just like, you're
How
walking
am I
around,
figure this out?
sweat in the palm of your hands. Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun. And so we feel for you. We're not shaming you. We're not picking on you.
Two old guys that have been there, man.
Yeah, we just I
love you, man. I don't want to see you hurt.
Yeah, hold on. Kelly's going to pick up. I'm going to send you a copy of the Total Money Makeover. Thank you for your service to our country, sir. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Christopher is in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Hi, Christopher. How are you?
Hey, Dave. How are you?
Great, man. How can we help?
Good. So I'm 23 years old. I'm still living at home. Just finishing off my debt. I have $6K left, paying it off. So if you were in my position, 23 years old, what's your next step once you're debt-free? Should you invest? Should I save more or save for a down payment on a house? Just curious what your info is.
Cool. You're doing great, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How much have you paid off?
I started at $32,000.
Wow.
Good for you, man.
What do you make?
Thank you. $83,000 per year.
Lord. What do you do for a living?
I am a project manager.
Excellent. Good for you.
Thank you.
You're killing it. Okay.
Thank you.
So you like that? You're making great money. You like your job in your area, huh?
I do. My job is it's a blast. I really enjoy it.
Man, that's good to hear.
The area I don't have an issue with. I don't like the winter, but I think I'll stick around here for a while.
Sure.
Okay. Well, we teach folks to become debt-free, which you're very close to doing, to build an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. That's baby step 3. And then start saving 15% of your income towards retirement. Sometimes between baby steps 3 and 4, between getting your emergency fund done first, people will stop there and save up a down payment for a house before they start saving for retirement, particularly in your age group, because you got plenty of time to get after the retirement, and you're not going to be sidelined from retirement saving very long to save up for a down payment on a house. So what would I do if I woke up in your shoes? I would make plans to have my own rental place within 90 days.
Okay.
And I would rent for a little while I built up my emergency fund and started saving for the down payment on my house. And plus or minus start saving for retirement. But it's been my experience that it's going to be very, very good for you. You make a lot of money. You're doing really good. Great first job out of the gates, man. I mean, your income's amazing. You've cleaned up your debts. Being on your own is a great next step.
Right.
Do you have a good relationship with your folks?
Imagine so. I'm sorry?
Do you have a good relationship with your folks?
Yeah, it's very close. Yep.
Man, so leave it on a high note. I love Dave's recommendation.
Right.
Yeah, the good relationship with mom and dad makes my suggestion feel a little bit ludicrous, because why not stay there for rent free and build up some cash? That's what runs through. That's what runs through mom and dad's head, because they don't necessarily want to kick you out, and it's what's running through your head. I will tell you that the advancement of your adulthood will far outweigh your wealth building over the next 10 years by moving out earlier rather than later. Their math is wrong. And the good news, I mean, I had one of our kids live with us for a little while right after college, and we love her, and honestly, to this day, she could live there and I'd be fine. I mean, we get along well, and all that kind of stuff. It would not be an issue at all. There wasn't anything driving her to leave or us to throw her out or something like that. But she stayed about 90 days and went out on her own, and it just changed the way she walked. It changed the way she talked. It changed the way she functioned. When you start buying your own groceries and paying your own light bill, it just changes stuff.
And I hear so often folks get to that relational tension where mom and dad and you just can't sit at a table hardly. You hate it when they walk into quote unquote your room, but it's in their house. All that. Leave on a great note. Leave when everybody's
when nobody wants you to leave.
Yeah. You still have lunch once a week. Go to lunch on Sunday afternoons together still, and be connected still. Watch the game with your old man, but leave while things are good. And your financial footing is so strong right now. You're good to go.
Man, making 83 at 23.
Whew.
It's a different world.
That's
fun.
not the world I lived in. That's good, man.
Fun. Way to go, man. So proud of you. Mm-hmm. Project management's great. Great field for sure. Well, it is time to put 2020 behind us. If you're ready to own this year and actually accomplish your goals with your money, your career, your life, we got the plan to get you there. Last year left us all with wounds and feeling stressed out, so start 2021 with our newest quick read, Redefining Anxiety by Dr. John Deloney, to learn what anxiety is, what it's not, and how to get your life back. The best part is, it's just a quick read. It's only $10. And this year, many of us need to spend time connecting with God, to rest, to reset. Christy Wright's new women's devotional called Living True, 40 Days to Get Back to You, will help you feel like you again. And to help you with your money goals, pick up Rachel Cruz's brand new bestseller, Know Yourself, Know Your Money. This book will help you tackle your money mindset so you can make real progress and reach your goals even faster. Online store at daveramsey.com/store to get serious, make some real progress. If I woke up in your shoes, I would probably buy all three of those. Redefining Anxiety, the new 40 Days to Get Back to You devotional, and Know Yourself, Know Your Money. They serve three different purposes, and they're all solid material and all bestsellers, by the way.
Seen some neat things with that Redefining Anxiety. I'm starting to get notes from counseling offices across the country that are buying them 10 at a time.
No way.
To give to their clients on the way out the door, so they can say, hey, read this, and then the next session we're going to talk about it. And you got some tools, and the counselors love it because it's short and it's simple and it's right to the point.
That's fun.
It works.
That's affirming.
It is, yeah. And when folks
because you
reach
kind
out,
of expected some of the counseling community to be mad at you about this.
I did, yeah. That we distilled $36,000 degree into about 85 pages. But I mean, some of the stuff you say is a bit heretical in that world. It is, just because it's simple, and we tend to overcomplicate things. And it was a journey writing this for me. Even you guys kept pushing me back and saying, you're not talking to a bunch of scientists, man. How can I help somebody in their house right now who's struggling
at their kitchen table in front of their fire?
It's really a gift, but it's neat that
cool.
Community's picking it up. Yeah,
that is. I did not hear that yet. Yeah. That's awesome. Cool. Well, we need to come up with a bulk deal, man. That's a good thing. $10 is not a bad deal.
Say $10, man.
Shut up. Yeah. Shut up. Yeah. Cut the price even more.
That's right.
Cut down what John's going to make on it. But, that's great. Yeah. The book is Redefining Anxiety, what it is, what it's not, and how to get your life back. 3 out of 5 counselors now recommend it.
I wouldn't
3
go
out of 5 dentists, right?
Dentists, that's right.
3 out of 5 dentists recommend it. It is great. It's a great read. If you've ever had or know anybody that think like yourself that's dealing with anxiety, it's a must read, and it's only 84 pages. There you go. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices. And they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings. Dr. John Deloney Ramsey, personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Cody is with us in Houston, Texas. Hi, Cody. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I just needed some advice on how to practice patience better, whether it be in my career or just life in general. I'm just really impatient. I've always been pedal to the metal, climb the ladder, and then COVID hit and stopped all the ladder climbing. So I'm just getting kind of bored where I'm at and just needed to figure out how to be more patient with my life and career progressions.
What are you running from, man?
I don't know. I grew up super, super, super poor, and I'm tired of being that way. I'm in a lot better position now than I ever dreamed of being. I'm just trying to not go back to that place.
When you say you're in a better position, what does that mean?
Just financially. I mean, me and my wife, we have a good life and better than my family ever did growing up. So I don't know. I'm just trying to make sure I don't end up back there.
When you say good life, give me a picture of that. You talking about financially? Your marriage is good? Your kids are healthy? What's that mean?
We don't have kids, but financially, yeah, our marriage is good. I mean, we're in our second year of marriage now, so as good as 2 years of marriage can be during a pandemic. But I mean, we make really good money. I mean, we're both young. We don't have any kids yet, thankfully, because they're expensive. But,
what's really good money?
Between the two of us, about $220.
And you're how old?
She's 27. I'm 26.
It's really good money.
That's great money. So sometimes when folks have a picture of a life they don't want to have, they take off running as fast as they can another direction. And that's often a good thing, right? But if your identity doesn't become about building something good, but it becomes about not being that, then you're going to always be running for the rest of your life. And your identity will become as being a sprinter. And so there's a way you could look at this season. You're making great money, astounding money in a city that's not super expensive. And you can look at slowing down as a curse or as, wow, what a gift, man. I can spend more time with my brand new wife and we can figure each other out. That becomes, you're talking about legacy shift. Earning the money, changing your financial footing, that's part of a legacy shift, but so is having great relationships, deep-rooted trust with somebody you can anchor and rappel off the edge of anything with or survive any car crash with, right? And so I'd love to challenge you to come up with some practices that when you start running from something, when your heart starts racing, when you get those looping thoughts in your head, I got to go, that you and your wife come up with, whether it's a code word or whether it's a special meal or something, that you slow down and intentionally practice being still. There's one way to practice patience, brother, and that's to practice patience. I wish it was harder. I wish it was more complex than that. It's not. You have to decide that my life isn't going to be judged on how many zeros I have after my check. They're awesome, but it's not all of your life. You're going to have to decide that I'm going to prioritize some things in addition to changing my financial future, right? And so you're going to have to decide to not spin your life as a sprinter. The tortoise always wins, always. There is something to be said, man. You shot out of the gate, and that's incredible, man. What, do you have an emergency fund? You guys got a home? Y'all set up?
Yes, sir. We're in 3B and 4, so we're out of 2, and we do have the emergency fund set up.
So now you got to do the hard work. You sprinted. You gazelled out, right?
Yeah, you finished up the intensity. Now you're going to go to the intentional.
And that's hard, man.
4, 5, and 6. It's a gear change. So how long you been making 220?
Not that long. The last maybe 6 months. She just finished PA school, so when she got out and got a job, it really kicked it up.
Yeah. So based on the math of what you've told me and your all's focused intensity and your high level of motivation, I'm going to tell you that 20 years from today, when you're in your mid-40s, you're going to have between $5 and $15 million.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Now, the difference in $5 million and $15 million in terms of what it does for what you're running from is zero. $5 million gets you as far away from poverty as $15 million gets you. The only difference is which room you stay in on vacation and how many lobster tail you order with that steak. That's really the only. And really, with either one of those numbers, you could do as much of either of those things as you want to do. There's only so much crap you're going to be able to buy. And the difference in $5 million and $15 million is merely legacy stuff. It's merely stuff you can do with generations. It's merely things you can do with generosity. But your actual state of well-being, the difference between $5 million and $15 million is almost nothing. The difference between $5 million and $15 million, the price you would pay psychologically, emotionally, spiritually between now and then to have 15 instead of 5, ain't worth it. Is my point. So five at 20 years from today, or 7 or 10 at 20 years from today, running a marathon pace instead of a sprinter's pace is all I want for you. I don't want you to have 20 and there's nothing left in your guts.
And your kids don't know who you are, or they don't like talking to you, or you're on marriage number 3.
And I work with wealthy people for 25 years, man, and I am wealthy. And so, I get up on Sunday morning and go to Dunkin' Donuts at 6 o'clock in the morning and take the grandbaby's donuts with sprinkles on them. And, you can do that with $5 million. You can do it with $50 million. You can do it with $500 million. And
the laughter of the kids is
really not even going to change the car you drive. Yeah. In other words, at a certain point, wealth only begets more wealth. It does not change your situation.
Core. That's right.
It doesn't change your setting. Right. There's only so much. I mean, when your home becomes 2% of your net worth instead of 8% of your net worth, it doesn't change anything.
Right. Yeah.
It's not a thing. When it's 100% of your net worth, that's when you are feeling that one.
Right.
You are feeling that one. But there, at some point, your environment is no longer your personal lifestyle. Your environment is no longer affected unless you're just some kind of freak who's just buying, stuff like, whatever, bling, or you're trying to just buy stuff to impress people. I mean, you can do all that. But even then, you just got another yacht that you have to work on.
Right.
And they break down.
And so if you've ever been hiking in the woods and you turn a corner and there's a bear, you have a built-in, your heart races when you go in the woods. Whenever you hear something rustling, you've got to train yourself over time to not see a bear everywhere. It's a rare occasion. I've been in the woods a million times. It just doesn't happen that often. It does occasionally, but man, when you've seen poverty, when you've seen pain in your families. I love
his question. It's just such a good question.
I do too. And it's so hard to get your head out of that because, man, our brains take care of us, Dave.
It's an interesting way to ask it.
What's that?
How do I learn to practice patience?
Oh, that's somebody that's got some wisdom and he's starting to see it, right?
It's not, but I don't think it's patience. I think it's contentment.
That's it. How do I practice peace? Mm-hmm. Something this year that
Godliness with contentment is great gain.
I'm working this year to reverse engineer the fruits of the Spirit. What does it look like? Where do I see peace? Where do I see gentleness? Mm-hmm. And where can I trace that limb back? Instead of trying to do it over here, I'm trying to walk it back.
I'm just going to open a can of gentleness.
That's exactly it. That's not how it works, right? Yeah. So where do I see it? And I love his question because you know what he's searching for? Hey, we got that money, and I still am not just falling asleep at 10 o'clock. Yeah. I'm still waking up too early.
Motor's still running.
How do I just go to sleep? And I want to tell you, you practice peace, you practice gentleness, you practice forgiveness, and slowly your default setting falls that way.
Yeah. That's good.
But he's on it, man, because he asked the question, and that's a gift because he's not blaming everybody for his lack of sleep. He's not chasing pills. He's not chasing anger. He's saying, how do I practice patience? And you practice patience by practicing patience.
There you go. Dr. John Deloney, this is the Dave Ramsey Show. Folks, it's an honor to tell you about the Army National Guard. Not only are they big supporters of our high school curriculum, but they also give you the opportunity to impact your local communities. Whether your goals are to get an education, serve your country, or have a better life, the Army National Guard can help get you there. Plus, they offer unbelievable financial benefits. Secure your future today. Visit nationalguard.com to find out more. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today here on the air. Mike and Marianne are with us in Richmond, Virginia. Says on my screen, you guys are debt-free. Congratulations.
Thank you, Uncle Dave.
Way to go, guys. How much have you paid off?
We paid off $172,000.
All right. And how long did that take you?
27 months.
Wow. And your range of income during that time?
$150,000 to $200,000.
Very cool. What do you guys do for a living?
I'm a small business owner and general contractor.
Mm-hmm. And I'm a fundraiser for a university health system.
Awesome. Way to go. So what kind of debt was the $172,000?
We had, where I had a little bit of business debt. I think it was 2 vehicles, student loan, and some renovation loans for our home.
Okay, so you're just kind of normal.
Very normal.
Pretty normal, yeah. No credit card debt, but yeah.
How long you guys been married?
We've been married almost 3 years, and our story's pretty cool, Dave. We met about 30 years ago through church and even dated a little bit in high school, then went our separate ways, married. Mike had 2 children. We both went through a divorce and reconnected about 4 years ago and did what any newlywed in love couple would do. We bought a house, a 200-year-old farmhouse, and financed a $100,000 loan. So before you knew it, we were almost $500,000 in debt.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that was a big tipping point for us, for sure. And we were on a long drive, and we heard this Dave Ramsey podcast. Mike had read The Total Money Makeover. And in that process, we looked at each other and we said, we could do this. We could, too, be debt-free. I know that we can make this happen as a couple.
So, Mike, you got her in the car before you put the podcast on, huh? Well played.
Yeah, strapped her in for a long
She
trip.
had nowhere to go, man. Well done.
Trapped. Crazy Dave Ramsey. Oh, my gosh. Oh, man. So how long was this drive?
I do think it was about an hour and a half, and I think she said, "Hey, do you like podcasts?" And I think I said, "Do you know who Dave Ramsey is?" And that was how that started.
And we were listening to it, Dave, and we thought, gosh, these people are amazing. They're paying off hundreds of thousands of dollars. We have that same problem. Is there any way that we could do this? And I think we were pretty scared at first, but the second we got married, we combined all of our finances, and we went right into the snowball. And it really changed our life, both individually and then as a couple.
Coming out of two failed marriages, how hard was it to combine your finances?
That's a really good question. I don't think either one of us had a lot of expectations based off of our previous experiences, but because we didn't have partners in our previous marriages, it was really fun to kind of learn how to do this together, and there was no point of resistance at any time to do this as a couple.
Yeah, and the best part has been doing it together and having that partner. What I tell people all the time is that marriage can be wonderful, and the financial part of marriage can be even better. It can be a lot of fun to dream and plan. And not only did we accomplish this goal, but every single day we dream together about what we're going to be able to do in partnership.
Man, that's awesome. That's the key to success, especially in second marriages, is being able to say, we're going to build something brand new together, and we're going to plan it and see it and dream it and then go make it happen. And good for you guys. That's incredible, guy.
Very well done. Very, very well done. All right, you pay off $172,000 after listening to a podcast in 27 months. What else did you do to get out of debt, and what are the keys for the listener out there that this is, maybe they're in the car trapped listening to this podcast and they're going, hey, these people paid off $172,000. Tell them how you did it.
Yeah, the first thing we did was we sold a car we didn't need. We got on the Every Dollar Plus app, which has been amazing, totally transformational for us. And we had a plan. Every single month we had a plan. We would sit down on Saturday mornings together, and we would decide where our money would go. We cut up the one credit card we had that we hardly even used. We refinanced our house. We took side jobs. We increased our income through promotions. We did everything that we could to stay focused together. And before you knew it, we had paid it all off.
That's powerful.
And I think, the secret, and we've talked about partnership a little bit already, but for me it was, the promise to each other to always be in partnership, to have patience with the process, and to have positive cash flow, Dave.
Yeah, that always helps. Yeah. So you guys almost make this sound too easy. What was the hardest part?
We were talking about this a little bit. It wasn't, I don't want to act like it was easy, but once we put our mind to it, it wasn't that hard. So the thing that was somewhat challenging was from time to time, we would get distracted and with things like, well, maybe we should continue to give to retirement, or maybe I want to go off on this business venture and do well-intentioned things with our money, but it really wasn't the time. So we would talk through those things and just bring ourselves back to the process here and just stay focused on this baby step too. And so the challenge was just the endurance to stay focused for that long.
Your story is really interesting in one respect, because listening to you, you're very articulate, intelligent. You're not people who just kowtow and follow any old thing. But one of the biggest problems people have, honestly, out there is that, and me included, when it comes to something like this, is, am I going to submit myself to the proven process? And somehow you two decided, we're going to submit to this. We're going to do it. What do you attribute that to?
That's where the partnership came. That's where it came in. We looked at each other eye to eye every week and went, we're still committed to this. So anytime there was a temptation or there was something that came in our way, or, Amazon tempted me to buy something else, I'd look at Mike and we go, no, we have dreams and plans and goals. And, Dave, we want to give and we want to be, wealthy along the way. We want to teach our children, Mike's children, how to do the same. And I think that was a big motivator for us, was our family and knowing the kind of legacy that we want to leave behind as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So what you did was, and this isn't the vernacular that we normally use, but this is exactly what you did. You practiced commitment. Every week you recommitted to commitment, and every week you got together and committed to commitment, and then over time it became your way of being. So when these new ideas, these new temptations came your way, nope, we're not going to do that, right? And my guess is you also started practicing co-parenting, and you also started practicing co-calendaring, right? And co-eating and co-exercising. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's a pretty accurate guess, yep.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, and I'm not being hyperbolic, but this changed everything for us. We were more driven in our careers, more driven in fitness and health, more driven in parenting. I mean, everything that we've done has been better because we've been locked in financially.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm snowballing in my business now that we're done doing this personally.
I'm so proud of you guys. Well done. Got a copy of Chris Hogan's book for you, Everyday Millionaires. That's definitely the next step in your all's journey, the next chapter in your story. Absolutely amazing. Very well done. Mike and Marianne, Richmond, Virginia, $172,000 paid off in 27 months, making $150 to $200. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Wow. It is amazing if you submit yourself to a proven thing, you're going to get those results.
You submit
Why
yourself.
do we all push against that? I do.
They submitted themselves to one another every week, too.
Also, and what a great practice to start a marriage.
I'll tell you what, man.
Man, powerful. Well done. They're rock stars.
Awesome.
Absolute rock stars. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, 1 John 4:1. Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God. For many false prophets have gone out into the world. Brad Sugar said, words can inspire, thoughts can provoke, but only action truly brings you closer to your dreams. Yep. Otherwise, you'd be called a dreamer.
No, I'm a dreamer. You got to go do it, man.
There it is. Just, you got to, when in doubt, bust something. Bust into it. I mean, you just got to do it. All right. Let's move quickly to calls before John sings again. Lindsay is with us in Phoenix, Arizona. Hi, Lindsay. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Well, I'm a single mom, and I have $50,000 in savings.
Wow.
But I guess I'm kind of stuck, as in, should I use that for a down payment on a house because my income isn't that high, or if I should invest it? I guess I'm kind of just stuck on what to do with it.
What's your income?
This year it should be $52,000 a year. But I've usually the last 6 years, it's been 26 or less.
So why is it so high now?
I moved and I got a different job.
Good for you. Good for you. How many kids you got and what ages?
I'm just one, and she's 6.
Oh, good. Okay. So a single mom making $52,000 a year, and you're in Phoenix, Arizona, and you have $50,000 in cash. Where'd you get $50,000 in cash?
I saved a lot. Like, I saved all my tax returns ever since I had my daughter, and I lived at home for about almost 5 years until recently when I moved. So that helped. And then
how old are you?
Just working really hard. I'm 29.
Okay. Yeah, you're that's impressive. Making $25,000 and you save 50?
Man, that's a grind out.
Yeah, I've always been like much of a saver, but my daughter's father, he basically stole a lot of money from me and ruined my credit score. So after all of that, I just really put my mind to it and saved and got my credit score up.
Girl, you're a warrior.
That's what I'm talking about. Good for you.
I'm proud of you. Well done. Very well done. Well, what we teach are baby steps. And baby step 1 is $1,000. 2 is to be debt-free other than your home. You've done those 2. 3 is to have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. Are you debt-free?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, just my car payment.
Oh, well, that would be a debt.
But I'm okay.
How much how much do we owe on said car?
I think maybe a little less than 10,000. I should be done in like a year now.
Okay. So if you were going to follow our plan and do what we teach, which is obviously what I recommend, and it's how I live, and it's how I teach people to live, you would pay off your car today. And you would take some of the remaining $40,000, and we would set some of it aside as an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. I'm going to call that $20,000.
Okay.
And so 30 of your 50 has been allocated to paying off the car, and 20 of it's set aside. So that leaves us $20,000 of still asking the question, what do we do with it? You follow what I did? 10 on the car.
What? I'm sorry.
10 on the car,
Yeah.
20 in the rainy day fund, leaving us 20 to do something else with.
Right.
Okay.
And right now it's just in a regular bank account, just sitting there.
It doesn't have to be invested to be fancy. You are way ahead of people who make 10 times more than you make. They can't save a nickel. You're amazing. So now what I would do if I were in your shoes is I would leave that $20,000 in a separate bank account. I'm going to name that bank account House Fund. And now that we don't have a car payment and we're going to live on a budget, and we're going to, when you make twice as much as you ever made, I'm going to put money on top of that 20 and money on top of that 20 and money on top of that 20. And in 2 or 3 years, I'm going to buy a house with a really large down payment, and I'm going to use that down payment money for that account.
Okay.
Meanwhile, you never borrow money again. When you do buy the house, you put it on a 15-year fixed where the payment is no more than a fourth of your take-home pay. But I'm going to guess and say you're probably going to put down $100,000 on a house.
I don't know. That's a lot. That gives me like the thing is.
You want to know how I did that? Let me help you how I did that. Okay. You saved 50.
Okay.
You saved 50,000, making 25. Now you make 52. I think you're going to save 100 really fast. I know. But I still think you're going to save really fast. You make twice what you used to make. It's just in your nature. You're a warrior and you're a saver. And you're incredible.
And I want you to do a budget with your 6-year-old daughter. I want you to bring her into this and let her practice it. And this is how you're going to start to change this family tree.
We're going to buy us a house, baby girl.
That's exactly right. And every week she's going to get to make the little chain with you or whatever game y'all come up with. But she's going to learn how awesome her mom is, what an absolute great mother and saver and planner and builder her mom is. And she's going to learn what a strong, invested woman looks like. And she's going to walk alongside you. It's going to be a great journey for both of you.
It is interesting to me in a culture that has completely gone wussified, where everybody spends all their time being a victim. Everybody spends all their time looking for something to be offended by. I get this sweet little voice on the phone who is a stronger warrior than almost anybody out there listening.
Man.
That woman's incredible.
Yes, she is.
And so unassuming. You would never think that Conan the Barbarian lives in her soul.
With a giant sword, right?
It's just so sweet.
Man.
Oh.
But she looks at that baby girl every morning and says, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She's got a big, big why.
52% of single moms live below the poverty level. Not her.
Yeah.
She doubled her income. She made a move.
Yeah.
She lived at home for a while, moved out, saved $50,000. Listen, if you're out there and you had a tendency to whine after that call,
you're done now.
Just shut up. It's over now. Your whining is over now.
Back in college, we called her the curve buster, right?
Yeah. That's it.
We all got C's. Everyone's going to get moved except for you. Got a 97. That's her, right?
Except for the one who messed the curve up. Yeah. We're going to grade on a curve. Oh, well, then there's...
Then there's Lindsay from Phoenix.
Oh,
good for you.
Way to go, kiddo. So proud of you. Well done. You know what's interesting is the number of times people face adversity, which is all of us sometimes, and most of us last year.
Yep. Yeah.
And then the choice, and it's a choice, on how to react to it.
You choose.
I'm going to wail and scream and wait on the Democrats to send me money.
Yeah. Or I'm going to wail and scream about whatever internet story I found. I'm going to find somebody that will...
Because of that guy. Whoever voted for that guy.
Tell me what I want.
Whichever guy. Whoever voted for them, you're stark craven evil. Both of you.
Both of you. That's right.
And so you must be punished. You must be canceled. You must be killed.
Or you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show you. I'm going to live in rage and anger so that I poison myself, hoping you die, right? I'm gonna ruin all of my relationships and drive like an idiot and slam doors in my house and yell at my kids. That'll show whoever's on the other end of that computer keyboard. It's just nonsense, right?
Yeah. Or you can be Lindsay.
You can just start nickel and diming your way
and say, I'm in charge of my life.
I'm gonna practice commitment.
And I've got nobody's getting, the Lone Ranger's not coming.
I'm gonna practice patience.
I'm gonna do it. I love it.
Get on the back of the turtle.
Great show, guys. Great show. That puts this hour of the Dave Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.